Hello, today I'm looking at Majjhima number 129, 129, the Balapandita Sutta, translated as fools and wise men. And the location is Savatthi in Jetta's Grove at Anathapindika's Park. And the persons mentioned are Buddha, or the Blessed One, and his assembly of bhikkhus or monks. Now, Buddha is addressing the assembled monks, saying, there are three characteristics of a fool: a person who thinks bad thoughts, speaks bad words, and does bad deeds. Because of these behaviours, a wise man knows him as a fool and an untrue person. A fool feels pain and grief in three ways. Firstly, if the fool breaks the 5 precepts, and there are people discussing certain pertinent matters, the fool thinks these are the faults that are his. Secondly, when a fool sees how a robber is treated when he is caught, undergoes many tortures and is ultimately beheaded, and the sutta actually goes into sort of quite graphic detail on the tortures, which I won't go into. The fool thinks, this is the behaviour I indulge in. Thirdly, when a fool is reflecting on his past bad behaviours, bodily, verbal and mental, he realises he has done bad things. He also realises that in the next life he is bound for a bad destination. He sorrows, grieves and laments. He will suffer horrendous tortures in the next life, in hell. Again, lots of examples. He will live with animals that feed on grass like cattle. He too will have to feed on grass. He will live with animals that feed on dung. He too will have to feed on dung. He will live with animals that exist in darkness, like earthworms. Similarly, animals that live in water, like crocodiles, or animals that live in filth, like in rotten fish. It is hard to fully understand all the suffering in the animal kingdom. There is no Dhamma, no practicing. There is only mutual devouring and slaughter of the weak. And should at some stage the fool be reborn into a human state, it will be into a low-born family, outcasts or cartwrights or scavengers, where there is little food, and he is reborn ugly, unsightly and misshapen, without relief. And if he misconducts himself in body, speech and mind, or on dissolution of the body after death, he will reappear in a state of perdition, even in hell. To come back to misbehave is far worse than a gambler who loses all through a bad throw, his wife, children, possessions. Now, there are 3 characteristics of a wise man: one who thinks good thoughts, speaks good words, and does good deeds. A wise man feels pleasure and joy in the here and now. If the wise man follows the 5 precepts, and there is an assembly of people talking of such matters, the wise man knows they are not talking about him. So too, when a robber is caught, tortured and punished, the wise man knows this is not him. Thirdly, the wise man knows he has not done evil, has good verbal, bodily and mental conduct cover him, and knowing this, he knows his destination after death will be a happy destination, even in heaven. It is hard to describe the happiness of heaven. So Buddha then goes on to describe the delight of heaven comparing it to a wheel-turning monarch possessed of treasures and success, of following the 5 precepts, whether in a north, south, or east or west direction, with the great kings, with the king of elephants, the king of horses, the jewel treasures, the woman treasure of great beauty, the steward of treasure, the counselor treasure. The wheel-turning monarch himself is handsome, of supreme beauty of complexion. He lives long, free from illness, agreeable to Brahmins and householders. So, just as comparing a small stone to the Himalayas, so too the pleasure and joy that a wheel-turning monarch experiences is nothing compared to the happiness of heaven. If some time or other, after a long period, the wise man comes back to the human state, he is reborn with a high family, one with riches. He is handsome, supreme of beauty of complexion. He has food, drink, a beautiful home, perfumes, conducts himself well in body, speech and mind. And after death he reappears in a happy destination, perhaps in the heavenly world. So Buddha concludes by saying, suppose a gambler at his very first lucky throw won a great fortune, yet that is negligible compared to a wise man who conducts himself well in body, speech and mind, after death reappearing in a happy destination, even in the heavenly world. This is the complete perfection of a wise man. This is what the Blessed One said. The monks were satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words. And that's the end of Majjhima number 129, the Balapandita Sutta. Now, just a comment aside, there's more information about the wheel-turning monarch in a YouTube video on the internet. And I'll put a link to that. And so I think the wise man describing the path of people who aren't necessarily looking for enlightenment, but to enjoy the benefits of a heavenly world. So that's about it. Thanks for watching.